5:36, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Time for the gang of three amigos. Johnny's here. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, Dan.
Ken's here. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, boys. Yes.
I'm Dan. Johnny killed the music. I took a little time,
Well, I don't
Johnny.
like killing music. I love music. You make it sound like I go around killing music.
Well,
You're the music killer.
And we're a music city.
no, the record companies killed the music, actually.
Well,
It had
that's
nothing
very
to do
true.
with-
That's very true.
Bro Country killed the music.
So
Yes,
did the
it did.
video star.
Hey, I have a big announcement.
Well, we're going to get tacos.
Shut up, Ken.
Maybe some hot chicken delivered this morning.
This isn't about you. This is about me. Announced last night.
Yes!
Best local on-air radio newscaster or reporter. The winner is Ken Weaver, the bearded wonder.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Ken, this
Yes?
is not about you.
No, it actually
This
is not about
this is about me. I hired your ass 10 years ago.
That's right.
You're
did.
welcome.
And I'm very thankful. Very thankful. You also made me a better anchor.
Well, let's not get carried away.
Ah, you did, man.
The only reason I'm a talk show host is because I was a sucky news anchor.
Well, you also got tired of having to play things that you knew were suspect.
Yeah.
Because as a journalist, you know, you just have to, you got to tell people what's going on.
That's
And
right.
you have to hold back from editorializing whenever you know it's probably not the truth.
You want to talk about the conversation you and I had this morning?
I'm feeling fired up.
About that?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Fired up about the past 3 years, are we?
Ken and I had this discussion about, and it was a fun conversation about what he would really love to put in his newscast when he heard
I'm feeling fired up.
Barack Obama talk about how fired up he was, and Ken just starts rattling off all the things that he would love to, talk about.
Yeah.
Americans not necessarily fired up over, and we went through the litany of things.
20% higher grocery bills, 25% higher insurance rates.
Yep.
We're on the brink of World War III. Let's see, what else?
Now, Ken, an award-winning news anchor would not put that in his news.
Well, and one did not.
No, but you should have. I'm not. See, the great thing is I'm not the boss anymore, so I don't care what you do.
Well, yeah.
By the way, it was the Tennessee Broadcasters Association that, or was it the Tennessee Association of? Is it TBA or TA? This is why I never win.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what their name. You know what? I called them commies a while ago too. That might have
Well, yeah, that may have.
something to do with the fact that I never win.
Well,
Oh, by the way.
yeah.
By the way,
Where'd you get that music?
one more thing. Also, best local radio news coverage for breaking news.
Wow.
Matt Murphy,
Wow.
Ken Weaver, and Pamela Furr for that December tornado.
December 9th.
There you go. You guys won that too.
Yeah.
Look at you guys, man.
Well, just we did our jobs.
Yeah.
We did our jobs, and fortunately, we were in the right place at the right time. And I tell you what, you got to give kudos to Cumulus because they actually made it to where we were able to do that.
They did. They did, actually.
Our company and our engineers have provided us with great technology and ability to do the things that we're able to do whenever news breaks like that. I mean, that was a Saturday. Whenever, everybody's supposed to be off.
Yeah.
But thanks to hard work.
Praising Cumulus, not on my bingo card for this morning. Sorry. I just kidding. So, Ken,
Yes.
because this is a great honor for you,
And well deserved.
I didn't tell you this beforehand, but in addition to the great prize that you're getting, the trophy from the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters or the Tennessee Broadcasters Association,
Yes.
Or those commies.
I actually... NPR-loving socialists. See, this is why I never win.
I was getting ready to say, man.
I actually have a prize for you as well.
What is it, Brother Dan Mandis?
A day's supply of Space Cowboy Coffee.
Hey, dude, I'll take it.
SpaceCowboyCoffee.com.
Yes, sir.
There you go. It's product placement as well.
Some people
there you
call
go.
me the Space Cowboy.
So, Ken,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely well deserved.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. But again, I've got great people around me, and I've got the tools necessary provided by this company to do what I do, and I appreciate it.
Hey, Johnny,
Yeah.
is Ken up for a raise?
I don't
Because
know.
he is just like kissing ass like I had
Well-
never heard before. You never kissed my ass like this, Weaver.
Oh, BS.
But you haven't seen the office of Noah around Ken. I mean, you get around Ken and the office of Noah is in the midst, it'll be like this. Morning, Dan. Ken, give me a hug.
And the award for best ass kissing goes to Ken Weaver. Enough of that. Oh, my God.
Yes, sir.
All right. I didn't creep anybody out. I'm
Not at
totally
all.
kidding, Ken.
Nah, boys, I appreciate it very much.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I take full responsibility for this. How did we manage to miss National Radio Day?
I have no idea.
That was like yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I never know what any day is for national
It's
recognition.
Wednesday, Ken.
Well, I mean,
Wednesday.
Well,
National Radio.
I know that.
Oh, okay, good.
I
said, listen, some days I don't even know what day it is.
I think I upset the young lady that walked by yesterday, and I didn't know it was National Radio Day. Happy National Radio Day! And I said, really? I don't know if I put happy in front of that, but hey, okay.
We could have used that at 8:35 yesterday.
Yeah.
You
Where
could have
were
said you could have said ditto.
I did, actually. I said, happy Radio Day to you.
There you
That's
go.
the last I thought of it.
How is it like we got three people? I got almost 40 years of radio in me. I bet you Ken is just about there as well, if not there.
I've got 40.
48 here.
And you got 48, so that's like 168, right?
Wow,
168 years of radio.
Well, that's a lot
None of us.
That's a lot of, wow.
That's a whole bunch of radio, boys.
And we
That's a
didn't,
whole bunch of hot air.
and we didn't know that it was National Radio Day.
No, we didn't.
The award for most obtuse broadcasters.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
National Radio.
So I heard, now I learned about it from Murphy Show when I was listening to Murphy Show noon to 3.
Right? Yeah, that's when I heard about it.
So let's go around the room and talk about, very quickly, our first jobs in radio. I'll start. My first job, I've told this story before, Pomona, California. I was working as a transmitter operator back when we had to have like operators at the transmitter building. So I had my little yellow FCC card thing, and I had to take the transmitter readings every, I think 3 hours it was. And this was in such an area where it was like remote. And the hookers would take their Johns to our parking lot and do whatever it was that they would do. And I would find the remnants in the parking lot.
Oh,
So their Johns were all the DJs, apparently.
And the winner
Well, most.
for best joke,
Brother Johnny B.
Johnny B.
Goodness. Now, where was this at, Brother Dan?
Pomona, California.
Pomona, California.
KMNY, Money Radio.
Money Radio.
Yep.
Money Radio.
Yep.
That's cool. That's a good
Minimum wage. And I'd look out, it's 2:00 because I was the overnight operator.
Where's this money they're talking about?
And I did. I made minimum wage, and I would watch the transmitters take their reading, and I would look outside, and I always
Make
wondered.
sure the lights were on.
I was very naive, so I would look outside, and I'm like, why are there other cars? Who are these people? Because you had to like turn left.
Why those women are dressed nice?
Well, it did. Literally, there was one time where a van was going up and down. Like the van was rocking, so I did not come knocking.
You didn't go knock.
The fans are rocking.
No, I didn't. And then there was the South Korean radio station that I worked for, which they all spoke in South Korean, and they just told me that when people stop talking, play the commercials. That's what I did.
I'm like, wait a minute. You work for a South Korean radio station?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you get that job?
They needed a board operator.
Yankee Dog, you're hired.
And I was like, well, I don't know how to speak South Korean. Because I applied for the job before it turned South Korean. They found my resume literally at the bottom of a thing.
Okay.
And so they called me, and they've been I didn't know they'd turned South Korean.
Yeah.
And so
That's interesting.
The only thing that I remember is the word Yamaseo. And now that I'm thinking about it,
What's Yamaseo mean? You're fired?
It means like hello. Yamaseo literally means hello and goodbye.
Oh, okay.
At the same time.
I think so.
Yamaseo?
Because I always now, but see, now I'm thinking, was it South Korean or was it like Mandarin, Chinese? I don't even know. Whatever.
What did they play? I mean, what was their format?
They played like music,
Korean folk
Like
music.
American pop,
and then they would do talk shows. And I remember the women saying Yamaseo, Yamaseo.
Now, wait a minute. Was that the prior job in the parking lot?
No, Ken.
Okay. All right.
And so, yeah, that was my, that's my two, the award for worst radio stories.
That's good, Brother Dan, man.
Johnny,
That's
go
very
ahead.
interesting.
Well, I grew up in it. My father owned radio stations, and in fact, he broke ground on his first station the day I was born. But my first job was actually working at his station, and of course, Dad, being the kind of guy he was, he wanted to make it rough on me to make sure that this is something I wanted to do. So my first job was I worked from 9 at night till 6 in the morning playing country music.
Really?
Yes.
The overnight shift.
The overnight shift.
Gotta love the overnight shift.
And it stunk because the worst part about it was when the morning show would come in, the newsman, he was a real jerk. And he wanted me to get his news ready for him.
Oh.
And it had to be just right.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't just right, he went off, was very ugly about it. And
So he was a ripping reader.
yeah, he was a rip and read. He didn't even
know what he was reading.
He didn't even know what he was reading, but by gosh, you better get it right and have the proper, pile where it ought to be. So what was really weird about the guy is he had false teeth and he would take them out from time to time and try to do an old man voice. And I'm thinking, you don't have to take your teeth out to do that. Keep them.
He would take his teeth out?
Yeah, he'd take his teeth out right there in front of you.
All right.
Goodness.
Ken?
This is the same station where Elvis Presley, passed away. And on the AM side, they were going to do a moment of silence. And they had a guy up at the transmitter that was told if there's ever, dead air, start playing music. And they had a moment of silence for Elvis Presley for supposed to be a minute, but it was 20 seconds later. And all of a sudden, Foggy Mountain Breakdown came on.
Oh, my goodness.
And I said, Elvis would have loved it.
He would have loved it.
Only in Kansas.
All right, Ken, go.
All right. I was a sophomore in high school in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, 1984. And while a lot of my friends were working on farms doing real work, I knew I wouldn't survive that sort of thing. The good Lord gave me a voice, said, "I take pity on you, son. Sit in the air conditioning and babysit the cart machines."
Yep.
The Automation, little radio station in South Central Oklahoma called KVLH KGOK. I worked there off and on for 6 years, 3 years in high school, then 3 years after, and I'm very sad to report that they tore that building down just a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
And, I mean, you know, it's just part of it. I don't think there's been a radio. Radio has not been broadcast from that building for a couple of decades at least. But I tell you what, man, that's where I cut my teeth.
Yeah.
And me and my buddies in high school had fun in that radio station because I worked nights.
Yeah.
And they'd come out, and I remember the highlight was always at 10:30. This little TV station out of Oklahoma City would run what was called Comedy Court. And I would make sure the automation was A-OK while we sat and watched the Three Stooges. And laughed and laughed and laughed while I probably should have been doing my homework.
So while Ken was watching the Three Stooges, I'm watching prostitutes in my parking lot of my radio station.
And I'm watching coyotes out in the Kansas prairie.
You know, the great thing...
That's where the tarantulas jumped up on my car that day that it rained.
You know, the great thing about radio is you meet incredible people.
Oh, I've met...
And
yeah, you do.
Working with you two guys has been such an honor. And I also have to say that it's been 3 years since the death of Phil Valentine.
Yep.
And I think about Phil every single day.
Yep.
And I go back, I read the text messages, what few tapes that are left of Phil, I will listen to them on occasion. And this is a man who was just incredibly influential, not only in Tennessee, certainly in radio as well, and also, frankly, on my career, because I learned a lot from him when I came to work here. And I was, you know, put this in air quotes, I was his boss, but I would listen to Phil, and I would pick up things along the way because he was so incredibly good. And Johnny, you, of all people, of course, worked with Phil for years. You know how great he was, and of course, we all miss Phil.
Yeah, he was the greatest, actually, I think. And
best radio duo I have ever heard was Phil Valentine and Johnny B.
Absolutely.
That's kind, but I think, that you could have put anybody with Phil Valentine, and he would have made it a winner.
Well, he would have been Phil
disagree.
Valentine, but he wouldn't have had Johnny B.
That's exactly right.
I appreciate that, but I miss him a lot. And actually, this morning, woke up to a picture of us out on the right across from the Capitol for the big income tax fight, and that, to me, that will always remain my biggest and best memory, because I've never seen people come together like that, and he was basically the Paul Revere of it. I mean, he got everybody together. And I appreciate the fact that he included me in that, because he didn't have to. I mean, they could have kept me back at the station, but he made sure that I was by his side and we fought it together, and that'll always be a great memory.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was an honor to work with him. It was an honor to know him, and I'm saying prayers for the family.
Great man they lost.
Absolutely.
Great father and great husband.